What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Thompsons Podcast. Today, you're joined with your host, Leslie Thompson, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Takoya. Say something to the people, Takoya.
Hello again, everybody. So happy you're here to join us for yet another podcast.
Yeah, we got a special podcast for you guys. I think it's going to be pretty funny. This podcast is actually about how we ditched four wheels and picked up two.
So, Leslie, be honest. What did you think when I told you, or suggested rather, that we should sell your car, our one and only vehicle, for the entire summer and get bikes instead?
At first, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't about it.
You acted like I was trying to convince you to move to Mars.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, I just didn't know if I wanted it, I didn't know how life would be with selling my one only form of transportation and buying a bicycle. I thought I would be stranded. I'm a person where I don't like depending on someone. So I thought that I would have to depend on someone for rides and stuff like that. So it was just that sort of intimidation factor. But honestly, after I actually worked it out financially and saw that we would be saving so much, we'd be saving around $1,200 in just like not paying for insurance and buying fuel for the vehicle, it was almost a no-brainer.
I guess this must be how it is for people that have owned a car for a long time. He was just so dependent on having a vehicle. Whereas I've owned a car before. Well, leased a car. Let's not call it owning it. Let's call it what it is here. But, I went to college and I never owned a car. So there was really great public transportation in Eugene. There were bike lanes all over the roads. So I have always seen that it's not necessary to have a vehicle. Plus, I see when people have vehicles, it's not like, oh, I just bought a vehicle and that's it. It's never going to need any work. No, y'all, like tires be $400, oil cans hundreds of dollars. Like,
listen, let me tell you, me and my friend Earl, we always have this joke. He actually sent me this meme one time, and it was like when you're, chilling, cruising inside your car, and you hear an expensive sound, and it sounds expensive, so you just turn the music up because you want to act like you never heard it. It's just funny. We always use that because that's what a car is. At least that's been my experience. Like the second you get it, it depreciates in value. And on top of that, you start paying out so much money. The tires on the last car we had, Audi, listen, it was an all-wheel drive vehicle, right? That means all tires are moving at the same time. At one point, that car needed 4 new tires. Not 1, not 2, but 4. And the car was just purchased. The tires went down that much within a month, if that?
We only have that vehicle in total for less than 5 months. We had it for 4 months. What I was thinking was, it's coronavirus season, COVID-19 out here, so we can't even really travel anyways. Where are we going? We shouldn't be going places anyways. Yeah. On top of that, the weather is getting better, and we live in a tiny town. It's literally a 4-minute walk from my house to my job. Leslie now works from home. He now goes to school from home. So, I just felt like it was a no-brainer. Let's just sell our car, and getting bikes would allow us to, have some exercise around. So it took him a little bit of convincing, but eventually I was able to convince him to sell the vehicle, and we bought ourselves a couple of road bikes, not mountain bikes, some road bikes. And it was actually kind of interesting. We went to Walmart, and it was insane, actually. The entire bike section had 3 adult bikes. Yeah. That was it. It was wiped out. But
I mean, it makes sense, though, because after we went from there, I started to see everyone on the street riding a bike, like a whole family,
it's like
whole
stimulus check, cha-ching, let's new bikes.
Yeah, they bought out all the bikes.
So, but one of the bikes was pretty nice. I almost wanted it. It was a little bit too tall for me, though. So Leslie got that one. Then I was reminded that there's a Big 5 in this town, which I don't know. I don't go anywhere in this town. And so I got myself a little bike from the Big 5. And honestly, it's been really great. That's honestly one of my favorite things to do with coronavirus was just drive around, listen to music,
We'd
like
go to our
cruise.
peak and
Yeah, we could drive
look
up the
over the
mountain
city.
and overlook the city. So that's one thing we can't do is we can't like go up to the peak necessarily.
Yeah.
But Leslie and I would go on walks around our block a lot, and then we even jogged to this one park that's like 2 miles away. Y'all, it surprised me when I was able to jog 2 straight miles to this park, first of all. But now that we have bikes, like you can get exponentially, like you can get somewhere, you can get from point A to point B exponentially faster than onto me. And the funny thing is, like, I love it. It's like we'll be riding our bikes down the road, and I'll pass somebody walking on the street, and I'll just ride for like 5-10 seconds and look back and be like, haha, I could have been way back there, but now I'm all the way over here.
And like I feel like it's been so important to me because of the health factor, you know. I feel like especially lately in my life, I've just wanted to focus on like eating healthy because I want to be healthy long term. So the fact that I can literally ride for leisure just around our small town, I could easily ride 3 to 4 miles a day, see new things, and stay healthy. Like I don't like to run 2 miles on a treadmill. I listen for everyone to know, I do not like to run. I can if I want to. But biking is so much better. It's so much fun.
And the thing is our first long ride, we went to that same park, and we actually went around on bigger loops. And we have these apps for our iPhones and our Apple Watches where we can check how far we've gone. And that first day, we went 7.5 miles. And it blew my mind because, like, I really felt like, don't get me wrong, I'll tell you about the end of that trip. It was pretty hefty. But, like, really to go 7.5 miles and really not feel like you broke a sweat really too much. So that's what I love about it. And also there's just something about riding a bike and like just the wind blowing and the good weather. It's all really nice. I do remember though that first time we went, that first long ride, Leslie was like, oh, we can either go back the way we came or we can go in this loop. Do you want to go in this loop? And I was like, okay, let's go in the loop. Well, at the end of this loop, there's this one hill that you literally have to like ride your bicycle up, and like, you have to like push hard to get over this hill. And I could see it coming, and I was like, well, that's all right, that's fine. It's just this one hill. Once I get over this one hill, it's just smooth sailing from there. So I'm like biking my butt off, like standing up, putting it in a higher gear, like feel like I'm in the mud. But then I finally get to the top of the hill over the bridge, and I start to cruise down, and everything's feeling good, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. Man, I forgot there was a second bigger hill.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like I must have been disoriented because then I see it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
See, and my thing is, I knew it was that way, you know. So I asked her multiple times. I was like, Takoya, are you sure you want to go this way? Because me, I'm down for whatever. That's just me. I'm her ride or die, right? So she picked something. I'm gonna go that way. But I just wanted to make sure she was persistent on deciding this way.
Because I thought there was one hill,
no.
not two.
So, man, you should have seen me. Y'all, I was so tired. My legs were burning from the first hill, right? So once you go up the first hill, you could, cruise down. Not too long, you have the other hill coming up, right? So the thing about it is you cruise down the first hill with speed. So it isn't too long before you get to the second hill. A lot of times your thighs don't have time to recover. They're still burning. So by the time you get halfway up this second hill, man, your thighs would be on fire.
No, I'm not gonna lie. We hopped off the bikes and had to walk them up. We were both like kind of going up the hill, and then we're just like both look at each other, and it's just like nah.
This ain't it.
Like it got to the point like I'm standing up on the bike, pushing like in the mud like the first hill, but the mud became quicksand real quick. All of a sudden,
the bike is not moving.
Each leg felt like it was 100 pounds each, and I was just like, my body hopped off the bike. Like I don't have a memory of choosing to jump off the bike. My body was just off the bike
just happened.
And pushing it up, and I look back and Leslie's doing the same thing, and I was like, you know what? Another day, my dear, another day. one uphill battle a day for me, okay?
Yeah, no, I was not making it up that. I couldn't.
But, the thing is, though, it'll be nice to gauge, like, how we're able to get better with it. Because eventually, we will be able to get up that hill. And I think I actually did ride the bike up the hill the second time.
Yeah,
since I've been up there.
You did. You actually did.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is you don't realize it, but, one day you was like, hey, babe, let's go ride to this other path and, hop off and do some lower body and car. And I was like, babe, you aren't thinking about it, but riding a bicycle, that's a leg workout. And you don't
Yeah.
realize it because you're moving.
It's only a 4-minute walk to my job from where I'm at. So the bike ride is really short as well. But I've been noticing these last few days, like, because I have to ride my bike to work, then I ride my bike back during lunch, and then I ride it back to work, and then I ride it back. So 4 times every day. And these last few days, my legs are tired. Like, as soon as I get on the bike, I'm just like, whew.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to cruise. I'm going to put it on 3. I'm not going to move my legs too much. I'm going to keep cruising every chance I get. But so I definitely feel the workout happening. But of course, you guys know that this family of the Thompsons isn't just myself and Leslie. We also have our lovely dog son, Belly, which you guys heard about last episode. And if you haven't watched that one, please do check out I believe it was our second episode. We talk about our dog Belly. One. I have to tell you, we were super excited to get the bikes when we finally got them, and we thought Belly would love it. Because Belly is definitely a ride or die in the car, too. He's a great car dog. He puts his head out the window. He lays down. He's good. So we're like, all right, bet. We're going to get some bikes. We're going to take him on a bike ride. Originally, the very first time Leslie and I take a bike ride, and we're like, let's just ride to the park that's like maybe half a mile away. Y'all, our dog is so bougie. He's so used to just taking a walk and being able to stop at every single bush, every single tree, everything. He likes to stop and smell every single rose along the way. Yeah. But I'm assuming that when you're riding a bicycle and you're going fast and you're almost heavy machinery right next to him, he's just going to go with you. No. I'm holding on to the leash with my left or right hand, and he's just running in front of the bike, running slower than the bike, right in front of the bike. Like, literally, you can't go 5 feet without this guy almost like knocking you off. And he just doesn't get it.
And to actually fix that problem, because we found out that wasn't gonna work. It worked good in our head, like, oh yeah, we're just riding our bicycles and Belly is just jogging next to us, but it didn't work out. So we actually decided to order him a trolley off Amazon, a little dog trolley.
Which could double, to get some groceries. So we're like, win-win. We'll be able to ride, we'll be able to get groceries.
Yeah, but not too long after getting it, I started to realize, like, you know what, maybe this isn't a normal thing that everyone has. I'd be riding on the road with this, my bicycle and Belly strapped in the back. His head is sticking out of this little trolley. Wave or point and be like, oh, look at the little dog in the back. And it's just so, it's funny.
It's hilarious.
That happens. It gets so much attention.
Those things are not cheap, first of all. Let me tell you. Like, this thing was almost $200. It was like $160 or $180, something like that. And I was like, whatever, it's worth it. We have a member of our family that doesn't have opposable thumbs. He can't ride a bike, so let's get him his own trolley. Man, Leslie set that trolley up, connects it to his bike, and we go on our first bike ride with Belly in this trolley. And the way this thing works is he can get in there. You can clip him. There's like a very small leash inside that you can attach to his collar. And then there's a mesh net that you can zip closed so they can like stay in it. And then a plastic cover that can go over that in case it's rainy. But the mesh net can also be unzipped. So if the dog wants to sit up and sit out and like enjoy the air, he can. Well, I'm assuming Belly's going to be great at this. Man, tell me why.
We thought wrong.
Why? Tell me why we put this dog in here. And as soon as we start going, he starts freaking the heck out in the trolley. I'm telling Leslie, like, just keep riding the bike. Like, I'm going to ride back here with him and, like, tell him it's okay so he knows. This dog is not having it. He starts, like, trying to rip through the mesh net. And I'm, like, trying to get him to calm down. But at the same time, I'm getting really frustrated because I just spent dang near $200 on this thing.
You were frustrated. He was on my bike, and I watched dog take his 2 paws and punch this net as if he had fists, okay? And listen, I'm someone, like, the way my mind works, I always think about things in terms of money. So he punched it a few times, and every time he punched it, in my mind, I just saw a dollar sign just flying out of his little chariot thing. Like, he punched a hole inside of it, man.
And I didn't even realize he was doing that because, like, all of a sudden Leslie just like, Belly, no. Belly, no. And I thought he was telling him no because he was freaking out. No, guys, I come up on there. This mesh net is, like, ripping already. He already has, like, 3 claw marks, like Freddy Krueger come through and try to, like, cut it open. And so, like, we're at this point, we're, like, maybe, like, 60 seconds away from getting to the park. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, I can't even right now. So I just start riding my bike ahead. And I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to get there. I was like, maybe if we just ride fast enough, he'll just calm down. I get to the bike. I turn around. I hear Leslie saying, Belly, come here.
Mm-hmm.
This man double punched the mesh net, sliced it out. Apparently, Leslie forgot to attach his collar to the thing on the inside. Oh, no, it was connected. He jumps out of the trolley, still connected, pulls his head out of his collar, and then starts running away. So needless to say, we pull up to the park, and by pull up to the park, I mean we're walking our bikes and Belly's running along his side because he's no longer in the trolley. You know, Leslie's mad. He's just like, bro, why do we have to talk? And that's the funny thing is, like, anytime something like this happens, he, like, re-questions having a dog in general. And I'm like, babe, when we have kids, you're not going to be able to give the kid away every time they don't
No, it's not that. But it's like, okay, listen, this is our first time using this. How would y'all feel? It's the first time you using it. This is a $160 thing that we bought for this dog, and he punched a hole in it. Y'all, I was so upset. I was questioning everything. I was like, man, do we really need a dog? Like, he needs a home, babe. He needs a yard, babe. Come on. He needs a farm.
But, so that's why I said, I'm like, he's a great for learning what it's going to be like when we have kids. Because, you hear about parents say, like, kids are ungrateful sometimes, like, because you think you want to buy them something that's going to be good for them, and maybe they just appreciate it or don't understand it. But on a side note, we did come to find out like a couple days later, because I think when I was at work, Leslie tried to take Belly on another ride, and same thing happened. We come to find out that Leslie did do a very great job putting the trolley together, except for the fact that both of the tires on the trolley weren't blown up. They weren't aired up. So,
and it's not my fault.
I mean, isn't it?
No, listen. So this thing came out of a box, and I put it together. Now, you guys gotta know, if no weight is on the actual tire, it's like tough plastic.
So you don't know.
So it would appear that it's blowing up, and you wouldn't know until actual weight is on it. So the first time when we took him, the trolley was heavy, but I didn't look at the tires. I couldn't look at the tires.
I did, though, so that's what I'm saying.
And you didn't notice it was low?
That's what I'm saying, though. They didn't look. So you know what a tire looks like when it's flat. It didn't look like that at all. So I had no idea it was flat like that. But we ended up realizing they were very flat. So the third time we took Belly out, we had put a lot of air in the tires, filled them up with air, and he rode a lot more smoother that time. So I'm assuming the ride was very uncomfortable the first time, and so we can't get mad at the kid for trying to get out of that. But we're happy to report, extremely happy to report, that this man cruises now. Yeah. Not only does he cruise, he'll get up in that trolley all by himself. You say, Belly, up. And he gets in there. He's sitting there kindly ready to get. Yeah, we're just so happy. So now it's just the three of us riding around the city, getting waves from all the locals and their porches. And I'm
not going to lie, though. I still wish he acted like this before he punched a hole inside a $160. $160 chariot for him. Just punched a hole in it.
But I mean, yeah. So honestly, I'm very happy that we have things figured out with Bellies. Now we can go on the go. But it hasn't all been rainbows. Today was actually the first day that it was really raining quite hard. And let me tell you, I have a poncho I put on over myself. And that doesn't really work when you're riding a bike, I found, because today I'm riding my bike so fast to try to avoid the wind, but it's blowing the poncho up into me, so my legs are just getting splattered with water. On top of that, so this is the one thing, though, I would say about having bikes. If you're going to sell your car and you're going to buy bikes, it's probably best to do it in a city that is biker friendly. What do I mean? Like I said, I come from a biker friendly city of Eugene, where the majority of the roads have bike lanes, and the buses, like, you can literally get on a bus with a bike and put it on really easily, and just people expect there to be bikers on the road. Yeah. We live in a town that's very conservative, and they just don't know anything about bikers. So it's safe to say that people in this town don't understand how biking works. If it's not a biker city, you assume that bikers are maybe supposed to be on the sidewalk, but you're dang sure that they're not supposed to be on the road. And so I'm sure it confuses a lot of people that there's now two people that are like legitimately riding their bikes in the road. Because I remember when Eugene started getting all their biker lanes and things like that, I was confused. I had no idea bikes could be on the road, and I was like, why is this person here? Like, get off the road, man.
Yeah, that's what I used to think too. But after being in Portland, you see that it's almost like, because a motorcycle would be in the road. and bikes aren't really supposed to ride on the sidewalk.
Exactly. And so that's why, even though I love riding my bike around here, it is a little bit dangerous because I know that the cars aren't going to be looking for us like they do in other cities. So we definitely have our lights on. We got our bikes souped up, baby. Remember, we didn't just get bikes. We got some accessories. We got the lights on the front and the back that are synced together and they blink together. I got a little basket for the front of my cart and all these things. I think the next accessory I want though is I want some little lights for my tires so I could be riding around the city looking like a circus coming through.
You're doing too much.
We really be getting the waves in. You know me, baby. You know I'm always extra. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast where we just kind of wanted to tell you what it's like since we sold our cars for the summer and bought some bicycles. Anything to add before we end this episode, love?
Not really. Just shout out to everyone out there. I hope you guys are staying safe during this COVID time. And I hope you guys are using us for your entertainment, tuning in, because we have a lot of, entertaining conversations. Feel free to share them with your family, your friends, and even share them with the people you don't necessarily like as well. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. We've already had a great response to the podcast that we posted already. We have so many views, and so we do want to thank everybody that's listening to these. If you're listening on Spotify or wherever you listen to, there should be an option to favorite our podcast, which will allow a notification to be sent directly to your phone every time we post a new one. So if you haven't already, make sure you turn on your notifications and favorite this podcast. Like we said, if you found this podcast from us on Facebook or whatnot, please do share. Help us grow and expand because we really do enjoy doing this.
All right, guys. Just want to say thank you for tuning in and look out for our next episode. Be safe. Peace out.
Bye.